Just want to give a round of applause to all of our subscribers here at Chicago Bears Now. I said yesterday, I hope I wake up tomorrow being today and we have hit 61,000 subs. Well, we have done that, and that's thanks to all of you, Bears Nation, always delivering here on the channel. And if you haven't already, I would encourage you guys to subscribe. Busy offseason is about to get even busier with free agency opening on Monday. So bear down, sub to the channel for daily content. Second video of the day coming up right now. I'm Harrison Graham, and you're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. Let's go ahead and dive on into today's show. More buzz around trading the number one pick. Jeff Hughes of DaBearsBlog hopped on the Irish Bear Show on YouTube. Go check those guys out. They do a great job and really dropped some interesting nuggets about what could happen with the number one pick and what a timeline could look like. He made it clear. He says Ryan Poles wants to trade the number one pick before free agency, which there had been rumblings about that. Poles himself admitted that he was open to that, but Jeff said that he flat out wants to do it, assuming, he gets the big offer that he wants to have. And it sounds like offers have already been submitted as well. He's just trying to hike that price up even higher. Now, why a trade now makes sense for Poles in Chicago? Well, he'll have a much better feel of what he wants to do with this roster in free agency if he trades down beforehand. Because, for example, if he trades down with the Colts at 4, well, that could alter what he wants to do in free agency. If he trades all the way down to 9, getting defensive linemen is probably even more critical because a lot of guys could go earlier on in the NFL draft. So it just kind of depends on who he trades with, how far he moves down. And trading the number one pick now also gives you a better chance of trading down a second time later on, either, early into April or even on draft night here in about 6 weeks. So Ryan Poles would like to get a deal done, and with it almost being Thursday here in this week, maybe in the next couple of days, a trade does go down. Now, will a trade happen before or after NFL free agency? Let me know down in the comment section below. Type B for before or A for after. Will the Bears trade the number one pick before or after the start of free agency? Now, who's trading up? That's kind of where the conversation went next with Hughes and the Irish Bears boys over there. Hughes said that he would not be shocked that he would be shocked if Indianapolis let someone else trade up to number one. He did also mention the Panthers as a dark horse, but I do kind of want to explore just other possibilities, right? We'll get to the Colts scenario in a minute. There's a lot of QB-needy teams. Now, Hughes didn't seem that Houston was that interested. He thinks that there's a decent chance Anthony Richardson could go number one overall. So if Houston just sits at 2, they could take either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. Colts, obviously, who we talked about, the Raiders, Falcons, Panthers, who he's mentioned Tennessee before, Washington, Tampa, Seattle might draft a quarterback, even though they just drafted Geno Smith. We don't know what's going to happen with Baltimore. The Giants, we can take them out of the mix. I need to update that after Daniel Jones. But why the Colts make sense? Well, and this is a point Jeff Hughes made, and I've made this point as well, and I think it makes a lot of sense. If the Colts don't trade up and they stay at number 4, they're going to miss out on at least 2 quarterback prospects. Why? Because the Bears are going to trade down. And unless Houston's the team that moves up from 2 to 1, maybe they are, that means QBs are guaranteed to go 1 and 2. Whoever trades up with the Bears for number 1, and then if Houston's the team staying at 2, they're going to draft a quarterback. And then a quarterback could go 3 as well, because Arizona would be sitting at 3, and teams might be like, oh, 2 QBs are already gone. We got to trade again. So then a team could trade with Arizona at 3, maybe a team like the Raiders. And then the Colts, if they stay at 4, could get the 4th best guy out of these 4 quarterbacks who are going to be available. Now, everyone's big board could look different. I don't think every team is going to have a unanimous 1 through 4 QB rankings for these 4 guys. I think most teams will have Bryce Young as QB1, but some will have Richardson. A few will probably have Stroud. I'm not sure any will have Levis, but he's a guy that's viewed that could go in the top 5. But if you're the Colts and Levis is, a distant 4th out of the 4th, or if someone else is, then staying at 4 is a dangerous game. Like, you've got to move up and go get your guy. So To me, I think Indy does make the most sense for both sides. A, they really need to get aggressive and make a move because they've had Band-Aid quarterbacks for years now. And B, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Bears now too, because 4 is a good sweet spot, because if you stay there and pick, you're going to get a really good player, but it also gives you the flexibility to trade down again with Vegas, Carolina, Atlanta, Tennessee, as we get closer to the draft or even on draft night. So I think that's the sweet spot for the initial trade down. If you are Chicago, I'm excited to see how it all plays out as we get closer. Now, more Bears rumors to dive into in a second, but today's show is sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we certainly know how hard they can be to kick those bad habits, but our sponsor Fume is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I'll be honest, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I got it, but when the minty sensation hits, it's really powerful and feels good on the back of your throat. I'm a big fan of their different flavors. They got the maple pepper, the crisp mint, the white cranberry as well. Those are fantastic, and kind of just show you the device a little bit here too. Just take a quick hit. Feeling really good. It's kind of gives you that positive vibe, that good feeling, instead of, using a dangerous product that is out there. And that's where I want to talk about next. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. So head to tryfume.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That is tryfum.com/chatsports, code chatsports for 10% off. That link and promo code will be in the description and in the comments of today's video. Go check out Fume today. Let's shift to a more free agency discussion here, as Jeff Hughes also had some comments on that. He says the Bears have done a ton of homework on Javon Hargrave, the defensive tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles, who we've talked about a number of times here on this show, and for good reason. The Bears, Matt Eberflus specifically, has been consistent in the discussion around, this defense got to get that 3-tech defensive tackle. That's what makes this defense go. Well, Javon Hargrave's one of the best in the business. He had 60 tackles last year, 11.5 sacks. Not a great run stopper, but a pretty good one. He's an excellent pass rusher from the interior, and those type of players really can change games. I think we've seen that, especially in recent years. If you can get that interior disruptor, that is absolutely fantastic. Now, the one downside is he is going to turn 30, so he's not, a 25-year-old hitting the open market, right? Like, he's been around. But he is great, and I don't think this is a guy that is just going to slow down because he turned 30. He just had the best year of his career. So I think, if you sign him to a 3-year, $55, $60 million deal, $18 to $20 million per year. If you get 2 really good years out of it, I think it's a deal worth making, and it improves this defensive line immediately. I mean, this group has got to improve. I don't know if you have a single starter right there. I don't. I've made that point. Dominique Robinson, Travis Gibson, they're rotation edge rushers. Justin Jones is probably a rotation guy. I don't think Blackson's going to return. I don't think Mike Pinnell's going to return. Like, you've got to get at least 3 new starters on that defensive line. So I expect the Bears to go throw money at Javon Hargrave or Draymond Jones, and it did make me feel good that the Bears are doing homework at that spot, specifically with Hargrave. Now, should the Bears throw big money at Javon Hargrave? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I'd be okay with it. I know he's going to be 30, but 3-year deal, I think that's a good deal. He doesn't look like someone who's slowing down. And if you get 2 really good years and then maybe that 3rd year he declines a little bit, well, that's okay. That's the cost of doing business in free agency. Y for yes, in for no. Should the Bears throw big money at Javon Hargrave? Let's shift to the offensive line. How about signing Kaleb McGary from the Atlanta Falcons? He was a franchise tag candidate, but Atlanta did not tag him. Make of that what you will. Right as he left the show, he predicted that the Bears would sign McGary. That is what he predicted. He also mentioned Mike McGlinchey as another option. We've compared the two a number of times on this show. You look at the PFF grades; they're pretty similar between Kaleb McGary and Mike McGlinchey. They're both good run blockers. They're both, probably a tick below average in the pass blocking department, if we're being honest. But you just got to get something stable on that right side. And yeah, you're probably going to overpay here. That's the reality. But you got $100 million in cap space. That's how it goes. Like that's why you clear up the books in 2022 so you can spend money in 2023. My prediction for Monday, I'll kind of ride Jeff Hughes' coattails here, and I've thought this for a little while, is I think they will sign a right tackle early. It just makes too much sense. There's a few of them available. Go get one. Hughes threw out the possibility of, maybe Ryan Pohl's prior relationship with Orlando Brown in Kansas City. Maybe you could sign him, convince him to play right tackle. I don't think that's very likely. You never know, but my prediction is they will sign a right tackle, maybe as the first move early on Monday, shortly after free agency opens. So that's what I think is likely to happen. We'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. I do know this, that you need multiple starters on your offensive line. I like Braxton Jones. I like Tevin Jenkins, even though he's got some injury concerns. But left guard, center, right tackle, in my opinion, all need to be replaced. Maybe one of those three spots is already on the roster. Maybe a Lucas Patrick is your starting center. Maybe Cody Whitehair is your starting left guard. But you for sure need a new right tackle. And I would say at minimum you have to replace center or left guard. But I think you really need all three, man. I think you got to revamp this group, start to build some cohesion on that offensive line, and give Justin Fields the best chance to succeed and play at a high level. Now, you predict for me, who's the first player the Bears will sign in NFL free agency? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Who do you think is the player that will sign with the Bears first? All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Hit that sub button again. Really want to thank you guys for helping us reach 61,000. You guys are fantastic. If you want more Bears coverage, spread the word to a friend, or if you haven't subbed already, be sure to do so. It's free. I'm Harrison Graham signing off here on the channel. We will see you guys tomorrow.